What's up, guys? A little bit busy today, kind of hard to hear, but I'm gonna try my best. We got an 05 Acura TL. We're gonna do some suspension work. We're gonna do upper and lower ball joints in the front, and then we're gonna do a TIEN lowering spring and strut all the way around. So let's go ahead and get into this real quick. If you take a look, there's a couple things we're gonna do first. All right, there's a couple of things I like to do anyways. We're gonna take the top nut off. That's gonna separate the control arm from the spindle. All right, on the inside, it's kind of hard to see from here, but there's a fork right here. Okay, there's a 14mm bolt here. I'm gonna take that out. On the bottom side, there's a 17mm bolt down on the bottom side, and that'll get the fork off. Okay, once that's done, then I'll go ahead and take off the brake caliper and the bracket just to lay that over and get it out of the way. And then once I get that stuff apart, then we'll start with the next step. All right, everybody, we got that upper control arm nut off. We got the fork off. We got the brake caliper and bracket off. Let me show you what it looks like. All right, so nuts off. We're gonna go ahead and get a big metal hammer or something heavy to hit right here, and that's gonna bust that ball joint loose. Also, you'll notice the fork is missing. It's no longer there. Brake caliper, everything's out of the way. If you look down here, there's a ball joint down here too. We're gonna take this nut off next. We're also gonna end up hitting here, so it'll knock that ball joint loose also. And then we're gonna take the whole spindle out. That way we can put it on a press and press that ball joint out. We might even go ahead and use my C tool. I got a ball joint tool that might get that out without putting it on the press, but let's get the spindle off first, and then we'll go from there. All right, you guys, the control arm is pretty much just loose from the spindle. We're about to take the spindle off. Just a couple more things I wanted to show you real quick before I take the spindle all the way out. You'll notice that there is an ABS cable here. All right, that's for a speed sensor that rides on the axle. It's bolted right back here, okay? The bolt was missing and the plastic piece on the sensor was broken. It seems like the sensor is seized in there, so rather than us try and break it even more, we went ahead and just removed the cable all the way. The cable bolts to the spindle all the way up here, and then it runs up through that hole into the engine bay, and then you have to unplug it from in there. So go ahead and just pull it out that way if you have any troubles getting it out. All right, other than that, the tie rod end is off the back side. We got the tie rod end off. We got the upper control arm is loose from the spindle. Usually goes right here. All right, we're gonna go ahead, take the bottom nut out, and then we'll take the spindle off. All right, you guys, we got the spindle all the way off the car. If you look at the ball joint up here, the ball joint is completely loose. All the grease was dry. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, that's what everything looks like with the spindle off. You'll notice the lower control arm is still on the car. All right, when you look at the spindle, here's the other ball joint right here. Took the boots off so that you could see it. It's all dry. We're gonna press it this way, okay? But you're gonna notice here, there's a little ring right here. The ball joint will hit this ring, so we need to pop that ring out before we start pressing it. All right, so we're gonna get that ring off, and then we'll go ahead and get the press on this and press that ball joint out. And then we'll work on the upper control arm and do the same. All right, you guys, the new ball joints are installed. I'm gonna go ahead and show you. There's the new upper ball joint. There's the new lower. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put everything back together. The opposite from taking it out. The only difference is when we put this one back together, he has TIEN suspension. So we're gonna go ahead and put the new TIEN suspension in it. It's got a coil over setup. It's got adjustables on it. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in, and then I'll take a quick film and show you what it looks like. Alright you guys, we're getting ready to install the new TIEN suspension. First thing I got to do is take off the strut mount off the top of the old one and then reinstall it onto the new suspension. There is a way that I like to do it if I don't have a spring compressor. Most of you at home or at a new shop might have an air compressor, but you don't have a spring compressor. So a good way to do it is to actually get in here and I'll cage it with a tire. Alright? Usually you just put it inside till it bottoms out against the back. Okay? Get in here with your impact gun and then just hit it. And it'll cage the whole thing. You won't get hurt. I mean, at least you have the wheel blocking you, and that's the best way to do it if you don't have a spring compressor. But if you do have spring compressors, then use your spring compressor. Hey, what's up guys? Just wanted to give you a brief view of the finished product. And that's what it looks like.